In this video, we're going to talk about using the egen command in Stata with the by option. And to look at this, we'll be using this small auto data set. You've seen this one before, it's just a smaller version. It has makes of cars and then models within makes, prices, miles per gallon, repair records, and headroom. We used this headroom variable before, right, when we used egen. And we, for example, cut it at the median using cut, right? And what I've done is I'm just going to egen it, and then I'm going to tab it to see what it looks like. And when we use that command, we said egen high headroom cut at the median. We have two groups. It creates two groups of cars, one that have high headroom equals 0, one that has high headroom equals 1. So we look over here and we see that there's a new variable that indicates whether this is a car that has a high headroom or not. We're going to learn a bit more about egen in this video, but take a few minutes to start by asking the Stata to show you help egen. And note some of the options that are allowed with by, which is the way that we're going to be using egen in this video. There are a couple that allow by, and the ones that we'll use below are egen mean and egen count. So take a look at those under Stata help. I'll assume you took a look, and let's look at a first example of using egen by. So the syntax is by variable, egen a new variable based on, in this case, the mean of the old variable. And what we're doing is making a variable that gives us the mean price for this make. So if you go back and look at the data, you see that the make of the first group is AMC, and what Stata is going to do is compute the mean price across that group. So the syntax for this is by make egen mean price, which is the mean of the variable price. It's really straightforward. It ran, and when we look at our data, what we see is we have a new variable, mean price, where here we have make AMC, the first three cars, and they, as you'd expect, have the same mean price. So Stata has made a new variable about a group. You can imagine that you might want to check it, say by make. Again, we're using this by syntax, which means take the makes individually, and within the makes, do something. In this case, summarize the mean price for make. So if we run that command to check what we've got, what we see is, oops, it's not going to work. We go through each make, starting with AMC, up here, sorry. And AMC has 3 observations. The mean is this. The next make is Audi, and it has that many observations. For those of you who want to learn how to make a little bit fancier tables in Stata, see help table. This is a nice command for making something like this. And you can automatically create a table in Stata of each make and this mean price for that make. Not at all necessary for your assignment. The table command is just something you may want to know. A second example, instead of wanting to get the mean of price within each make, you might want to get the number of models in each make. So for example, going back to the data, we have the make AMC has 3 cars, Audi has 2, there's one make of BMW, only the 320. And so you can imagine asking Stata to do that. To do that, you would use egen with the count option by make. So here's what you do. That ran by make egen number of models is the count of models. If you go back and look at the data, what you see over here is, again, AMC has 3. The Audis have 2, and there's one BMW, right? So again, you could check yourselves either by doing by make summarize or using table make. There's the prettier output. but this shows the same information. Okay? It's just slightly more complicated than that, because the syntax that you saw above ran because the data were already sorted by make. So if you look up here, by sorted by make, I mean this is alphabetical. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third. The data had been pre-sorted by make. When you execute a by command, you need to sort by that by variable first. So for example, suppose you wanted to get the mean price for cars of a particular mile per gallon. Let's go back and look at the data. Here's mile per gallon. In other words, you wanted this one to have over here the mean price of all the cars that had 22 miles per gallon. And for this one, the mean of all cars that had 17 miles per gallon. And then you'd be able to calculate, for example, if this one was relatively cheap compared to the ones that have similar miles per gallon, and so on. You can imagine doing an analysis like that. In order to use a by command, you need to sort by the by variable first. Let's violate that, okay? So this example, we're going to say by miles per gallon, egen mean price for the MPG group, and that's the mean of the price by the MPG group, right? So if we do that, what happens? Stata complains. Stata says the data are not sorted by MPG. Not sorted. It doesn't tell us by MPG, but if we look up, we see we've executed a by command, and Stata is telling us it's not sorted. What we need to do then is to sort first. The syntax in Stata is to sort, and then just the variable name that you want to sort by. And then you can execute the by MPG command. Let's sort it and look at the data. As you can see now, the Lincoln with the lowest MPG is top, and the data has been resorted. Now Stata will be able to calculate by MPG the issue that I can't even remember what variable it was, by MPG the average price. So now we can say that. And Stata will do it. For each MPG group now, this is the Lincoln, right, which is, these are the 12 mile per gallon cars. They're actually quite expensive. These are very old prices, aren't they? And so on. We go down. Next we have the 14 mile per gallon cars, and they cost a little bit less. Okay, so in other words, the takeaway lesson here is right in the middle of the screen, down here. Actually, it's down here. The takeaway lesson is whenever you use a by command, you need to have the data sorted by the by variable. That's all for now for egen. We'll use egen by a little bit in assignment 5. And this is a nice illustration of the way that Stata can be used in a more complex way, where we don't just look within observations to recode data, but we're looking in the whole data set to generate new groups.